State University. I'm currently studying animal science with a concentration of pre-vet. Today I'm going to be going over how you can properly bandage your dog's leg in case of an emergency if they get a scratch or cut, and in case you don't want it to get infected if you're unable to go to the vet right away. So first I'm going to talk about the equipment that you can use in order to make sure you do it properly. First I'm going to go over any kind of antiseptic, alcohol, solution, wipe. What I'll be using today, I have a first aid kit that I've had forever that actually has alcohol wipes, but if you don't have that, you can even just use this or anything that's antiseptic to be able to make sure that you're able to get all that external bacterial that got onto it, whether he got it from a fence or whatever that can internally infect it. I'll just be using a simple paper towel that I got from my kitchen, but to apply the antiseptic, but you can use anything like a washcloth or anything kind of cloth on hand in order to rub it on. Now opening my kit. So a very important part of this step is using a gauze pad. So what this is a non-sticky kind of cloth that you're able to put over it before you put something sticky on it. That way it'll, one, make sure that there's no bacteria that's able to get into it from the outside, and two, whenever you take it off, it won't cause any irritation from ripping off any scabs from healing or any irritation to the dog if it would get stuck. So this allows for it to be protected from any kind of sticky wrap you'll be putting on afterwards. To secure that onto the leg, I'll be using this medical wrap that I have, but of course you can use literally anything in order to just tie it on there to stop any kind of bleeding or protect it from anything. This is just very valuable to have if you have a home to make sure that you're able to keep that secure on there. Lastly, I'll be using a pair of scissors that I have in here, but of course you can just literally go into your kitchen and steal your kitchen scissors. Anything that will be able to cut through this really thin gauze would work just fine. So now I'll be showing you my patient for today. Come here, Echo. This is Echo, my lab. Sit. Will you sit? It's Paul, good boy. He will be helping me demonstrate how to wrap his leg properly. So say you were to get a cut, say somewhere around this area, which seems to be pretty common in dogs, especially if they're very clumsy. If they get caught up in a fence or something like that, it's very common. And say now I don't want it to get infected, so I'll first be using this antiseptic solution that I have, and I'll be lightly dousing this paper towel in it. You don't need too much, but don't use too little. Nothing to where it's dripping off. Come here. Sit. Sit. Good boy. So now I'll just be lightly placing this onto it, cleaning off any dirt or grime that I see onto it, plus any bacteria that we're not able to see on the surface. You just have to lightly scrub, no need to get all in the wound or anything like that. And they may act a little more skittish than now, that of course he's not scratched, but it will burn. So just be aware that they will be very wary of it and it may sting, so they may be a little overwhelmed. Just give them time and you can work through it. Next, I like to make sure that I start off with ripping this off a little. Come here. Before I place the gauze onto it. Come here. Sit. Now I'll be placing the gauze into where the major part of the scratch is, and I will be placing the wrap over it to secure it in place. Now that I have it secured in place and I don't have to hold multiple things at once, I'm going to go in a diagonal way down to where I'm fully covering the gauze, and then parallel with that overwrap, I'm going to continue over. Next, I'm going to go up in more parallel motions, overlaying each wrap slightly against the last one that I did. Important during this step is to make sure, no, you're okay, is to make sure that it is not cutting off their circulation. And as you can see, this would probably be kind of considerate because they're not very patient by any means, so you'd much have to probably do it a little quicker. Now that it's not covering up any way that it's going to affect his mobility, I'm going to cut off the major part of the wrap and make sure it's tightly secured on there. Luckily this stuff sticks to itself, so it's perfect. So now you have a fully bandaged cut or scratch on your dog's leg to make sure it won't get infected anymore. All right, thank you very much for your time.